And we're live. All right. Nailed to the fucking cross. Hey, everyone.
Thrash till death.
Welcome to the Metal Asylum live stream. We're really honored to have Thrash royalty here today. So I'll quickly introduce myself. Jack Mangan of the Metal Hall of Fame and Metal Asylum and the Am I Evil graphic novel. I am rocking the Opeth, representing Opeth today. And to my left, to your, all right, there is Rich Catino.
Yeah, over there. Yeah, Rich Catino from Metal Asylum and Brave Words and the Metal Hall as well, and Sea of Tranquility. And we are joined today by Mr. Schmier from the legendary thrash band Destruction. What's up, Schmier? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're getting ready for a live stream, and it's been some busy days. And to have a good end of this year, you know, it's nice to have something to do again with music. And it's been a lot of tough decisions. Germany's just been into lockdown again now before Christmas. So I'm glad I have something to do, and I'm glad the band is able to be a little bit active at the moment.
All right. Well, yeah, that's all. And so let's tell everyone. Let's get right to it. Tell everyone how they should spend their New Year's Day. What should you do? What should they be doing?
Yeah, we have a live stream on New Year's Day. It's basically, you know, we said, how can we survive this? You know, how can we survive the pandemic? And the only way is to do a live stream on our own, basically, without the label, and make a professional live stream with a good sound, awesome picture, big stage, big production, long set, playing songs that we didn't play for years, maybe some fan classics that have been demanded over the years. Make a special live event, and hopefully the fans can join us for the big party. First of all, we cannot reach the fans, so we bring the show to your home. We all know it's not the same as a show, but for us, it's an investment for the future because, you know, we have no income since fucking 9 months now, basically, and it's going to be another 6 months till we can tour. I mean, we don't even know if we can tour. So the live stream is an option for us to make some money, to reach the fans, to show some activity also. And we hope the fans will join. We know a lot of fans are skeptic about it because, yeah, it's not the same as a concert, you know. But for us, it's also, you know, a scream for solidarity for us and the fans, you know, to continue this, you know, because I don't know how next year will be if we cannot play for another 6 months, you know.
I gotcha.
We're professional musicians since 30 years, you know, so it's kind of, you know, the water is here at the moment, so we have to find ways. And the live stream is a good option, a good tryout. It's a new tool, and yeah, it's not the future of music, of course, but it is something that we should try now to survive, basically.
And so how can Destruction fans and Thrash fans, how can they get access to this? Where do they go if they want to sign up and see it?
It's a link to an American streaming service page, Mandolin Music. We have the link on all our home pages and Facebook and socials. It's basically a direct link where you can purchase a ticket. We have two kinds of tickets: a normal ticket for $15, which is the whole show. It's like almost 2 hours. And the other ticket is like a VIP ticket where you have like a little backstage access and a little interviews also after the show. But it's a little bit longer content. And it's like a little bit more expensive, of course, also. And there's also like a merch department where you can also buy some special merch for this event. Not everybody wants to watch the stream maybe because they don't like it. So maybe you want to buy some merch, can check that out. Everything, this link is on Mandolin. Mandolin Music is on our homepage and on our social. It's actually easy to find. It's very easy to maintain everything also. It's one click and credit card, and you got a ticket.
All right, there you go. No excuse to miss out.
Check it out. You know, it's a way to help the bands, and you get something for it. You know, see it this way. You basically help the band with a stream. It's not that, you know, we all know this is not the future, and it's not the best way to see a show. But we're trying new ways, and we put a lot of money into this streaming. Also, we want to maintain a very professional streaming night, you know, not just a lousy concert. It's really high end. Everything is top notch. So the fans going to get some value for money. And hopefully your band it doesn't fuck up.
Is this gonna be like in a studio or on a stage or outdoors? What's the location?
It's one of our favorite venues in Switzerland, or it's like one of the best venues in Europe. Actually, it's called Z7. It's the venue we grew up with, where I saw all my favorite bands. It has a big stage and a very good system there. So, you know, sound and picture quality, and the lighting rig is amazing there. And it's a really nice stage. So it's a perfect background for this event. We didn't want to do this crappy, you know, from the rehearsal room stream. You know, of course that would have been easier, but we want to deliver something good, something when people say afterwards, like, "Hey, it was kick ass," you know.
Cool. Hopefully, it'll inspire some other acts too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of live streams, and I was like, you know, what can we do better than this? Like, you know, why are the live streams? Why do you sound all so bad? And why do people put so little effort? I understand it's, you know, it's expensive to produce it right, but I also think when you do a live show, you also have to put some money into production. So it's the same thing with a live stream. If you invest a little money, then of course you get better quality, and that's what we're trying to do.
Cool. All right.
There's no fans at this at all.
No, it's not allowed. You know, it's Switzerland was the only European country that had still shows up to 50 people lately, but now they're also on kind of a light lockdown now. So also this is not allowed anymore. So we were hoping till the last moment that we could bring a little bit of people in, you know, just a little bit, you know, just to have a little movement, but it's not allowed. So it's, you know, actually they closed the borders here also. So we were worried that we couldn't enter Switzerland anymore because of the circumstances. But to go work in Switzerland is still allowed. So we're still able to go over and do the show and stuff. But you cannot cross the border anymore for grocery shopping or going skiing or stuff. That's not allowed anymore here. And this is like a triangle here where normally everybody's crossing the borders all the time. It's like Canada and the States, you know, in the north. Not even, it's more like we don't have border controls here anymore, actually. It's very open. Like the Canadian border is still protected by the Canadian guards really well. So
yeah, they won't let us there now.
But yeah, he is usually very open, and at the moment it's kind of weird because everything is it's closed now. So it's a different world here at the moment, I guess, everywhere.
Absolutely. But so it's awesome you guys are doing this, and I applaud you for, like I said, for being progressive, thinking about it, and, you know, thinking of creative ways to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the let's say, how we call this, the fans were reacting 50-50 on this. You know, some said, why do we need this? And I want to see real live shows. And 50% were like, hey, this is cool. Finally, you know, at least I can't see destruction in real life, so I see a show and I can support the band. You know, so
yeah,
hopefully we'll be successful, and then we can have a good year next year, because we want to do a new album next year. But with a new album, we can't survive. It's not possible. You know, it's we all know the sales nowadays are down with the physical products. Everything is about streaming, so the money is little on the new album. We cannot live on a new album for 1 year. You know, it's not possible. So, but we're gonna focus on the new album for sure, because some fans wrote that, like, hey, do a new album, then you can make money too. Yeah, it's not that easy. You know?
It's a different world.
Yeah, people all think we're rock stars, you know, we'll have swimming pools and Porsche naked girls, and the reality of a musician is a lot of hard work and a lot of little payments also. That's what people do.
Well, speaking about new music, you also have this out as well. Can you tell everybody about this, Born to Thrash?
Yeah, Born to Thrash also was, it's basically like our live stream. It's kind of a spontaneous idea we had when this whole pandemic started, because we lost all our tours, and we said, what can we do to survive the first couple of months of this tour, to make any money, to make something happen. And we had this live recording from the Partisan Festival in Germany, and we basically did a very spontaneous live album. The album would never be out if there wouldn't be the pandemic. Basically, the pandemic kind of kicked our ass and said, "Hey guys, do something," and we did this live album very spontaneously. And yeah, at the end it turned out great because it kept us busy this summer. We had a lot of interviews. We were connected with the fans, and there was some movement, some positivity going on. And without the live album, we wouldn't be maybe here now at this position that we're doing the live stream, because the live album gave us a lot of push and a lot of positive feedback from the fans. And yeah, and so now we're hoping for the live stream to carry us to the next 6 months of pandemic craziness.
So this is a 2-disc. It's a CD and a DVD. So the DVD portion, why is the DVD portion only a couple live songs and not the whole set list that was live?
Because this live album was never meant to be. The recording was basically spontaneous, and there was no cameras that recorded this event. We had actually a camera team there that is doing a movie about the band. We're having like a kind of a documentary movie in the works since 2 years or so. We were filming, and the camera team was there, and they were filming a little bit of the show to have content for the movie.
And that's on here, right? That's on one of the discs. That's the DVD portion, or part of it, right?
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah, but then the camera team kind of made us some video clips for this live album, basically, because I asked the producer, I said, hey, we cannot film now. Also, we cannot continue the movie. We're gonna do this live album, and it would be nice to have some clips that are from the show. And yeah, so he cut us some live clips from the concert. You only had 4 cameras, so it's not a full production, but it actually worked kind of good because it's a professional company, TV company. So
yeah, it still looks and sounds great.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we tried to put effort in it, but it was very spontaneous. So the stuff was limited. We didn't have so many songs. We would have liked to have a longer set list. Like on the live stream, we're playing almost 2 hours. This is just a 1 hour set here. But yeah, it was the decision in the heat of the moment. We had to take what we have, and we're lucky we could do it.
Yeah, it's still good. It's definitely worth it, everybody. I would definitely pick this up.
It's basically Best of Destruction, old and new together. And it also shows the band, the current lineup, which has 2 guitars again, and it's the first live album with 2 guitars again, and the band sounds good live now. That's a proof, and therefore the live album is also pretty legitimate. I think it's people were like, why do you do live album now? Because of Corona, yes, but also it's nice to give the new lineup a chance to show to the people that the band is better than ever actually right now.
Yeah, I've heard they do sound great. The songs do sound great. Well, actually, I want to take something you just said. So you tell us about this documentary. Is it going to be German or English, or is it going to be versions available on both? Or is it on hold because of
subtitles? I think, I don't know. We don't know yet. It's the company is a German company is filming, but we're actually also talking English in the band sometimes, because Randy, our drummer, he's Canadian actually, but he lives in Germany. But so we're pretty multicultural in the band. We have one guy from Switzerland also. So, but I think we don't know yet if it's going to be English or is it going to be German yet. I would go for English actually. That we try to make everything in English. But I think the most of the interviews so far and stuff we made in English also. So we're still not there yet. We still have to film the grand finale, which we can do because we can play. So we've been filming some of the we did some of those social distancing events here in Germany with like seated crowds and some crowds with social distancing, and it was quite interesting to do that. Also, that's also going to be part of the movie. And at one part also in the movie, you will see that I was stranded on holidays when I couldn't get back home anymore because the pandemic broke loose. I was on a lonely island, and that's where I basically had the idea for the live album, because I was like, I might never come back to Germany because I was far away in the Indian Ocean, and there was no more flights for a while. All flights were canceled, all borders were closed, and so that's all going to be a part of the movie, like the craziness of music business. And of course, the pandemic gave a lot of interesting moments that going to be in the movie also.
I bet.
The movie is not just about the pandemic. It's basically about the band being on the road and, a little bit look behind the curtain also of a thrash metal band. And the grand finale was supposed to be in Mexico end of this year, where we played with Creator and Sodom and Tankard on big festival. But that's moved to next year now, so we'll see if we can still film it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, Schmier, we've got Rich and I are big fans for decades. We got a million questions, so we're gonna fire away. Rich, why don't you lead the charge? I know you got some questions.
Okay, so you guys have been a 2-guitar band before. So why the change since 2000 back to 1, and now for Born to Perish you're back to 2?
I mean, we started as a 3-piece, you know. It's like being 3 cooks, you know. 3 cooks, no problem. Too many cooks don't make a good meal, you know. So for us, the 2 guitars were a great time. I really love 2 guitars, but also with 2 guitarists, you have a lot of trouble in the band, you know. Songwriting was more complicated. The band kind of broke apart at that in that area, like 89, 90, when we were in the studio for Crack Brain. Too many ideas, too many cooks. The band fell apart. So when we came back together, we said, let's focus on the 3-piece like at the beginning, because those were the times when we had no trouble. We had a great time playing music, and it worked good. But also for some years, we knew that we have to go back to 2 guitars, because you're just limited as a 3-piece. You know, it's great to be a power trio, and I love it. But on the other side, also there's always those moments where we're like, fuck, I wish I could play those songs live, but we can't because we only have 1 guitar. You know? So also the songwriting always been limited. Like we always said, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. Let's not try to write a song like this because we cannot do it live. You know.
Right.
So we were at this point since a couple of years that we said, let's get the second guitar player, but we had to find the right guy, and the right guy was basically Damir. He's a friend of mine. He comes from the same region, but Switzerland, but it's all very close together here. And he's the husband of the Burning Witches guitarist, and I'm the manager of this Burning Witches band. It's like a female heavy metal band. So we worked in the studio a lot together, and we became friends. And yeah, that's how basically when we were looking for a guitar player, he was #1 choice. And yeah, it was actually the best choice we did in many years, because second guitar is just so much better for a thrash band.
Yeah.
But I love those classic trio albums we did and everything. It was a great time. And there was just a few fans who were crying about us not being a trio anymore. But, you know, I understand the cult. You know, I love Triumph, I love Venom, I love Rush, you know. Imagine Rush had a second guitar player. I would be like, fuck, no way, you know. But the structure is different, because we had our time also was 2 guitars, and it's thrash music works really good for 2 guitars. So I'm really happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just for what it's worth. Yeah. So I was going to ask, so since we're talking about thrash, I think you guys, probably more than any other thrash band, you guys really owned being a thrash band. You guys talk, it's in your song titles and song lyrics. So just tell us about, you know, where you kind of come with the thrash. Tell us talk about what thrash means to you as its own subgenre and culture. I
mean, when we started playing thrash, it was not called thrash yet. You know, it came later. Hello from Evil Dead, I see here in the screen. Hello, hey guys.
Yeah, they're excellent thrash band.
Thrash, the word thrashing like a maniac was basically Metallica phrasing from Whiplash. That's how the word thrash was first named. But the word thrash metal came out in 85, 86 or so, I think. And I mean, for us, heavy metal was just a lifestyle, and it will always be. And of course, over the years, thrash metal, when this style defined and people called us a thrash band, you know, it kind of becomes your life. And we're doing this now since almost 39 years. So it's not just music for us. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of being. It's my comfort zone. And if I have a big range of music that I like, but it always comes back to thrash that grabs me the most when I hear other thrash bands, you know, because that's what I grew up with, and all the energy and the honesty of thrash music is just very special. And also if you see thrash bands live, you know, there's no backing tracks bullshit. It's like plug in and play and thrash it out. And the fascination of thrash will also never die. It might never be the biggest music in history because it's not commercial enough, but it's going to be the one with most energy and most honesty.
Great.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, Rich, what do you got?
All right. Okay, so recently I was on a discussion about our top 10 thrash albums of all time. So I was on a panel with 2 other people, and all 3 of us picked one Destruction album. So if you had to pick
wait a second. Now we have to say Evil Dead top 10.
What's that?
Now we have to add Evil Dead to the top 10 because it just greeted us.
Oh. Actually, me and Jack talked about them when we did our talk on thrash albums, but yours was a different show. So when we did it, we each picked a Destruction album. So if you had to pick your Destruction album to be in a top 10 of all time, which one would you pick and why?
Oh, fuck, it's difficult because every album is like a baby, you know. It's like, do you have kids? Which kids is your favorite kid, you know?
Right.
You know, if they're not so nice, they're still your kids, you know. So it's difficult. I think the first albums are very important. Infernal Overkill was so important because it was the beginning and it was our first successful record, and we still play so many songs of this album live. Basically, it's the instant classic. So Infernal Overkill is maybe the album with like the most historical background, and that I say was the most important album to us. Yeah, but of course, some of the new albums are as important. You know, like the Antichrist was the big breakthrough when we came back in 2000.
Yeah,
the album from 2001. But after All Hell Breaks Loose, the Antichrist was the big push again for the band. So those 2 albums would be maybe my decision that are most important for the band. But
two of us picked Infernal, and one of us picked Eternal Devastation.
Okay, yeah, I mean those two albums are classics, and like Curse the Gods is maybe my favorite Destruction song ever.
Yeah, and,
it's still when people say which song you like still to play live the most, and I say Curse the Gods will always be. It's no matter what. When I play the songs, it's just like pure emotion, and I feel so comfortable because I don't know, it's a part of my history in my life, and I play the song so many times, and it doesn't get boring. It's really, it's how good sex should be, right?
Yeah.
But that's not going to be on the live stream, right? That's different. Yeah. So actually, I got. Well, actually, I'm going to. So Jimmy K asked before. You know Jimmy K from Metal Voice. He asked if you're ready to take the vaccine.
Is he ready to? Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not a anti-vaxxer or conspiracy theory guy. I'm, you know, I grew up on vaccines since I was a little kid, and I think the world we live in today is there because we had all those vaccines that helped the world to go on the next level. We would all be dying with 50 years old otherwise. And so I'm not skeptic about the vaccine at all. So I know with my job, I have to get the vaccine anyways, because otherwise I can't travel. Airlines will ask for vaccination or corona tests in the future, and I'm not scared of this stuff. So I will definitely get my vaccine when I'm able to. But in Germany, we have to wait, like normal people have to wait till like summer or so. In summer, they will vaccine the normal people, and then we can hopefully also have shows again. You know, before that, it's going to be almost impossible.
All right, cool. All right, well, thanks, Jimmy K. So I want to go back. So back when you talk about Curse the Gods, for me personally, that was the first time I'd ever heard that kind of vocal in thrash. You know, of course, I heard James Hetfield and Tom Araya and the kind of the guttural kind of roaring, but you know, you kind of brought that, but also the screech to it. And was that? Can I give you credit for inventing that vocal style in thrash, or did you get that from somewhere?
I don't know. We all got influenced by each other and by the same bands at the time, you know, by the punk rock and by the new wave of British heavy metal. So we all liked some of those squeaky singers also, you know. So when we created Destruction, we wanted to be extreme, and somehow I thought I can do those high screams pretty well. So let's make them my trademark, you know. I mean, at the beginning, I wasn't that good in it, but over the years, it became really my style. And yeah, not everybody likes it, I guess, but I think in general, as a musician, it's very important to find your own corner where you're having an own identity. And maybe not everybody likes my vocals, but most people, when they hear me, they know it's me. And I think that's, you know, your own style is an important part of being a cool band, I think, you know. And I don't know how really I developed this. I think it was a mix of listening to my favorite singers, you know, like King Diamond and Rob Halford and Lemmy and Venom's Kronos, you know, just kind of my vocal influences.
Excellent.
So screamy and squeaky, you know.
Lots of power. I mean, you know, lots of power. You're not Michael Jackson. You know, you're bringing lots of power. And no offense to Michael Jackson, I like him too. But yeah, you know. But Rich,
thanks for the comparison. That's okay. Cheers.
That's probably the first time, right? All right. What do you got, Rich?
All right. Is there a Destruction album you'd like to go back to and change, and why? Change something about it.
I think albums are always a kind of a time capture. You know, you show the band at this moment, and even if you're not in good condition and the album isn't perfect, it's the moment that you catch, and the songwriting and everything, and also maybe the lyrics reflect the time that you live in. So I think it's kind of not good to change stuff that you did in the past. You know, it's not like a mistake that you like fucked up with your wife and you want to change something. You know, it's more like an album is a time document. You know, so sure, I would change the mix on Release from Agony maybe and some stuff, but at the end, if I really think about it, I maybe wouldn't change so much because all the albums have their own identity somehow. You know?
Right. Speaking of remixes, I have this edition of Infernal Overkill, the one that has the poster that came with it.
Ah, yeah, that's the new edition, yeah.
So was this remastered or tweaked at all, or this is just a transfer to CD?
We kind of made a little remaster, but you were really we didn't want to touch the sound so much because we know many fans don't have the original sound, but to not be too low in volume, we kind of pushed the volume a bit, and I think on Release from Agony, because the album was pretty squeaky, we took some high ends off, but we didn't do much on it. It's been touched really because we talked to the label about it, and they said they would like to keep the album original as possible, and we agreed on that. You know, we didn't want to destroy this 80s vibes. You know. Okay,
because I know a lot of bands, they don't have any, you know, they don't get their hands on this stuff, and it's just done without their permission. So you guys actually had something to do with it. You had something to do with this.
One from High Roller, right? High Roller Records.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Those are the ones that we did on our own. We had to basically, you know, get everything back together, and we did everything from scratch, and also the cover and the layouts. We basically didn't have the originals anymore. We had to basically recreate everything, but we tried to keep it as much original to the 80s as it was possible. Also, a lot of old pictures in there. Also,
yeah, it's nice little fold open poster with the collage.
Yeah, those vinyl editions from High Roller are really amazing. We're gonna do a picture disc box now. It comes out next year, and it's gonna include the whole Destruction book. It has like tons of pictures and old record reviews and old stories and old interviews, and it's like all the albums as picture discs. So it's kind of a cool collector's item.
Nice. That's gonna look good for the butcher.
Oh yeah. This was actually that actually was our very first picture vinyl that we did back in the day.
Yeah.
The butcher,
It's very cool.
Nice.
Yep.
And that's 2021. Fans can look out for that next year.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah. I think early 21 the box is coming out. Yeah. The problem is right now because of Corona, the vinyl pressing factories have problems. You know, they don't have enough capacity because some factories were closing because of COVID, and now the waiting time to press vinyl is 4 to 5 months ahead. So you have to send them all the stuff, and then they take 4 to 5 months to produce the vinyl for you. So that means we're hoping that the album comes out in March or April or something like that, depending on the vinyl. What do you call this? The jam at the vinyl company. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead, Jack.
If you're out there watching, then we see people coming and going. Like, feel free to jump in if you have questions. Put them up in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll ask for Schmier from Destruction, legendary thrash metal band out of Germany. I'll ask. Yeah, I've got a million questions. We're not going to get to all of them, but I'll ask. Well, so when you're writing riffs, I mean, do you write on the bass? You write on guitar? Do you write kind of in both? You go back and forth?
I write it on bass, and Mike hates me for it because it's easier to play on bass. When you play it on the guitar, it's like, wow, it's difficult, So sometimes, like, only a bass player can write shit like this because it's difficult to create on guitar. But I think that's some of the magic also that, that for me as a singer, I think in a different box than the guitar player. And we try to unite this when we write the songs together. That a guitar player will always write more riff-orientated. And for me, I try to write so I can sing on the riffs also and put my hook lines, So I think the combination is pretty good. And I'm a pretty lousy guitar player. I feel very comfortable on my bass, and it works good for writing for me. And Mike puts my riffs on guitar then.
All right, cool. All right, well, actually, I'll do a quick follow-up. So tell us some bass players that you do admire, that you'd like to play like, or that you just admire?
I mean, from the start, it was, of course, Steve Harris, because early 80s, he was the man, the guy that brought all those melodies and high harmonies and nice new ideas into heavy metal, basically. And of course, I loved Lemmy because of his like ruthless style and his sound. So his brutal, distorted sound is still what I really love, and that's how I got my bass sound together over the years. So I think Lemmy and Steve Harris, that was my influence at the beginning for a bass player. But of course, over the years, there's a lot of great guys that you admire, and of course, guys like Geddy Lee and stuff are fantastic also. But at the beginning, I would say without Lemmy and Steve Harris, I wouldn't be a bass player.
All right, cool. Great answers, by the way. All right, go ahead, Rich. What do you got?
So was there any talk over the past year of the big German thrash coming around maybe in 2022? Because it's always been talked of, you guys, Creator, Sodom, and Tankard. So is that a possibility maybe in 2022?
I hope so, but it's not up to Destruction to decide that. I've been trying to get the guys on the table a couple of times, and we actually talked, and at the end, it seems not so easy because everybody has their schedules and their managements and the labels, and it's kind of difficult. Destruction, we're ready to do this. I told Mille, whenever you want to do it, call me up. We're gonna be there. Him and Tom from Sodom, they have to kind of find a way to deal this out. Creator are the biggest band of us all, I think, and they should have, of course, also the headlining position. And I guess then there's some business to talk between Sodom and Creator. And when they have sorted that, then we can do the tour, I think. I was close that it's going to happen next year, but then COVID came and everything became more difficult. So, but it has to happen. I mean, it has to happen. It's up to the fans, basically. As long as the fans are going to demand it, it's going to happen one day. But it's right. I'm kind of have to say it's not my decision. I tried now for a couple of years to get this together, and we were close a couple of times, and then it didn't happen in the end. And at the end, I'm not the one that can make the decision alone. We're ready to do it, and whenever Sodom and Creator are ready to do it, Tankard, I know Tankard want to do it too. So basically, it's something the fans would love. We would love. Also, we're all not getting younger. We're all still doing great now, but who knows in some years, So it's the time is now. I think we should do it, but as I said, it's not my call at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're hopeful that it will happen. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, the fans, fans got to keep demanding, and hopefully Sodom and Creator will find an agreement that we can do that.
Okay. All right, Jack.
All right. Well, what is the secret to your longevity? The fact that you could still do this as well at the top level all these years later. I mean, how have you managed to kind of endure all this time and still play at your peak?
I think it's a lot about the passion. Like you gotta love your job. When you're, no matter if you're a baker or a cop, whatever, if you love your job, you can do your job better and longer, and you still like what you're doing. I'm lucky to be a musician. I love my job. I love the traveling. I love my friends. When they get older, they want to stay home with their family and stuff. I still enjoyed being on the road and stuff. So I really think it's a big privilege to be a musician. And I think that passion is still there, since that has never changed. Even though I got older and everything, but the passion for music is maybe now at this level still higher than it was before, because we kind of appreciate what we have. We appreciate the fans and the tours and the possibilities. So I think that is for sure something I never gave up music for something else. I kicked all my girlfriends out that wanted to have kids and wanted me to stay home, and all the jobs that I had, I gave up for the music. At the end, I had an own restaurant and an own bar for a couple of years, and I sold everything for the music at one point again, because I said, hey, this is the best. This is maybe not the best paid job, but it's the job that makes me most happy. And I think that's the longevity of the band, that we love everything, we put all the passion and the heart into the music.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
All right, Rich, I know you got some questions.
All right. So your favorite 3 thrash bands that are not German and not from the Big Four?
The German bands I can name, they're my friends, so if I name one first, the other one can kill me. So, other bands,
Okay.
But, this is still a very difficult question, because there's such a great amount of bands out there that I really admire and that I love. And of course, the first years are the important ones, and of course, Slayer and Metallica are the godfathers of the American thrash. So those 2 bands are major important. And if I can only name 3, I would maybe name Exodus, because they're also good friends and a band that has worked hard over the years in the business. But there's a lot of other good bands, of course. So, but Metallica and Slayer, you can get away with it because they were from scratch there. They were the band that the first release, Metallica with Metal Massacre sampler back in the day, same with Slayer, and the demos came out really early, so those bands were great.
Okay. Yeah. Jack, can I ask you a part 2 real quick?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So off of that, so Destruction, Sodom, and Creator, your first albums, your EP, were probably very influential to black metal. Do you hear that as well? In the first Sodom EP, and then the first Creator first LP, and then your first EP before Infernal Overkill.
Yeah, because we also had kind of evil lyrics, and kind of satanic lyrics at the time. And a lot of those black metal bands came to me over the years, and they told me that they loved the first Destruction albums and how important they were to them. So it's cool. Also, a lot of American death metal bands, like from the 90s, like Deicide and Morbid Angel and bands like this. They named us as a big influence back in the day. Release from Agony, the album was a very technical album for the time. So a lot of those death metal bands that started around this time liked that record because of the complexity it has. So it's nice to see that different genres relate on the roots of thrash also.
Cool. All right, go ahead, Jack.
Very cool. I want to ask about just one in particular. Is the Alliance of Hellhounds? How did that come about with all the guest stars and all your friends bring on it?
Yeah, basically, like once at a festival when we were sitting backstage and all those rock stars sitting around from glam and thrash and black metal guys drinking together, I was like, do the fans really understand that behind the curtain, most of the bands are friends, even if it's like pop metal or black metal, behind the bars, they usually drink together and they hang out, you know. So my idea was to invite like the best singers in metal, all kind of genres, maybe friends of mine also, to unite them in one song. And that was the Alliance of Hellhounds, basically, the idea of it. And yeah, I'm so proud of the song that I get all those guys together to sing a song that I wrote. It's a big honor. And some of those singers were like major influences for me. Biff from Saxon, Paul Diano, you know. Ooh,
right.
It was magical for me when I could do this. When I recorded Biff in the studio, I was frozen. I was 12 years ago. You know, it was fantastic times. And yeah, I think it's one of those projects that you look back after some years and you're still proud of, you know, because we could put, I don't know how many singers we are, 12, 14, 15. It's a lot of great singers on the song.
Yeah.
And all different genres, of course, also.
Yeah. Well, that's great. All right, cool. All right, Rich.
I don't think we talked about this when you're talking about the live stream, but after it airs on New Year's Day, can people watch it afterwards at another time if they pay for it?
Yeah, it's a 40-hour on demand, I think you call that, right? Like,
okay.
40 hours after the live stream, you can watch it on demand when you bought a ticket. So that means for 2 days, basically, you can watch it over and over again.
Oh, okay, cool.
So when you miss the live stream, because if you're hangover from
yeah,
watch it a little bit later, no problem.
Right. If destruction is just too much, if destruction is just too much the day after New Year's Eve, you got to wait another 24 hours.
Yeah, it was my main idea was like, hey, you know, what is the best day for the live stream? And it's the 1st of January because it's the start into the new year. Everybody's home, everybody's bored, everybody's hangover. What do you do now? There's a lot of lockdowns also. So the live stream, I think, it's a nice little kickstart into the new year.
Nice way to crush your brain again the second day, right?
Exactly. You know, to have a beer again and to watch a little metal and
do it all over again.
Right, it's the hair of the dog. Yeah. Well, actually, so I think Rich asked a good question though. So if someone in February says, "Oh, I got to see that," is that going to be available in the future? Maybe as a DVD even, or as something you can buy?
We do all this without the label, you know, because the only way to do this was right away not use a third party, you know, because you already have to pay the streaming company. And when the label cashes in, everybody cashes in, there's no money left, you know. So we said right away, we're going to not do this with the label. And you will see, this is not planned as a release, as a DVD release yet, you know. So we will see what happens. Never say never, you know. We're going to have some material in our pockets for now. And let's say if there's a huge demand in the next years for it, maybe we find a label, they're going to release it, you know. But I have to say, DVDs nowadays are not famous anymore. You know, when they come to the label and say, "Hey, I have a DVD," they're like, "Okay, ask somebody else." You know? Because you know, in America too, all the stores closing and DVDs are just, you know, it's all about streaming nowadays. So So it's you know, the dying of the physical product is happening. I think in America actually much more than in Europe. If I look at my sales, the sales in Europe and Japan are still very stable or not going down that much. But in the States, I could see that a lot of more people are now streaming and the sales are going down from all the bands, basically. So it's kind of something we have to face. You know, an album going to come out in the next years as a special gimmick. Vinyl and CD will be still there, but it's not going to be the most sold item anymore. You know, people, you know, some diehards will always buy a physical product, and that's good for us as a band, you know, because the streams are paid horribly. But in the end, we're just a part of the industry. We cannot, you know, do something else. We have to see what the record labels do, and we will see how many record labels will survive all this also now. You know, this will be interesting next year. It will be interesting to see. A lot of big labels are swallowing the small labels right now. Also in Germany now, SPV, our old label, got swallowed by Napalm Records. And also Nuclear Blast, our label, got swallowed by a big digital company last year already. So stuff is not the same anymore. We will see where it goes. You know, I'm open for new ideas and stuff, but of course I'm old school. I like the physical products. I like the vinyl, And as long as I can defend this and still produce it, we will do it, of course.
All right, sounds good. All right, we got about 10 more minutes, give or take. Okay. But so,
any comments or anything, Jack, from anybody? Comments or questions?
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of just destruction rules, that kind of thing. You got a guy just,
cool.
you know.
Yeah. That's always good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah, go ahead, Rich. I've maybe one that'll take a little bit longer to unpack. So go ahead.
Okay. So you've done side projects before. Are you doing anything in the new year?
I don't know yet. I would actually like to focus on a new Destruction album to make a really new awesome album. Side projects I did were always very spontaneous and stuff that I did with the band. Like the last one, Panzer, was more kind of classical heavy metal, like kind of acceptish, you know. And
yeah, I remember that
spontaneous album I did. But I think next year there won't be much time for another product, but who knows? You know, never say never. And who knows if we going to be able to play? Maybe we still be sitting home next year, and then I have to do something else. You know? But at the moment, I really want to focus on a new Destruction album and make it a real strong one. Because at our age, you know, every album can be the last one. We never know. So I want to do from now on. Every album has to be strong and good. You know, because it's part of the legacy and. That's why we also try not to do every album. You know, before we had like an album every year, every 2 years. Now we keep a little bit more time to make the albums strong and. But now that we're sitting home for a long time, it's the album will be good thing to do for our mental. I say this for our mental stability.
And you said you have those reissues coming too, right? The vinyl reissues next year.
Yeah. We basically we also been actually looking into an American release for that. We're gonna talk about to High Roller about that because those albums are basically European released, so it's import to the States. It's difficult to get. And
you mean the CD version, or is it going to be the vinyls?
The vinyls also they're difficult to get in America, right? So. We will try to do a distribution deal maybe for the old albums in America with an American label. We're talking about this right now, so hopefully next year we can get those 7 first albums out in the States as vinyl and CDs again for the collectors.
What would it be from? Would it be from the first EP up to what album?
To Crack Brain.
Oh, Crack Brain, cool.
Yeah, it's the first 7 albums basically. That's the first. It's the 7 albums we did on SPV, and that's the few albums. Yeah.
Cool.
All right,
go ahead, Jack.
All right. Well, so Schmier, you know, in your lyrics and in your interviews, I think you've always been pretty outspoken about, you know, your political and social views in the world. So, so when are you going to run for office? That's my first question. Are you going to be the Chancellor of Germany someday soon?
Oh, you know, I will change a lot, but you know, I don't know if I'm the right guy for politics. You know, I mean, I know it's a difficult job. I think for me, you know, our system has failed. You know, the capitalistic system is a system of greed, and at the end, it's not going to work for the whole world. You know, some people get richer and richer, and most of the people are poor as fuck. You know, and for me, it's more system of a new system that have to come. Also, you know, we have to question our leaders. You know, I mean, it's not just America that had a weird leader in the last years. You know, if I look around the world, I see a lot of guys that shouldn't be there. You know, leaders should be people that are responsible and have education, and maybe people that are physicians or that are good at something. You know, that are the wise people of the country. You know, all the wise people of the country should be your government. But what do we have? We have fucking politicians that don't know shit. You know, I mean, some people used to be actors. Some people don't even have a real school education, you know, and they're leading the countries. So that has to change for me, you know. But yeah, I don't think I see myself as a politician, you know, because this is a too dirty business for me. Sorry, you know, rock and roll is a bunch of business, but for politics, it's fucking bad.
Yeah, no, but, I'll just follow and say that view. I agree, and that's not a left wing or a right wing view. That's just to me, it's just right.
No, it's basically, communism doesn't work, socialism doesn't work, capitalism doesn't work either. In 50 or 100 years, people will look back and say, "Ooh, they tried, but they fucked up the world." And for us, it's time now to change something. And in Scandinavia and some countries in Scandinavia, they tried a system of how do you call this in English? Kind of minimum wage or something, that every people in the country gets, like, let's say $1,000 a month to live from the government. Did you hear about that before?
Yeah.
How do you call this in English?
Well, there's what are they? I think even Canada, I think, is not thinking about doing it. I don't know if Jimmy's still watching us, but yeah, there's something like mandatory minimums or something like that. Yeah, a living wage, something like that. Yeah, I know.
They tried this in Finland with some people for a while, to see what happens when you give people enough money so they can buy the groceries and can pay their apartment. Do those people then sit at home and do nothing, or do those people then build up their lives and make maybe independent job, or do a job that they really like? Because what I said before, you gotta like your job, you do your job better, and
sure.
That's the problem of the world, that we have a lot of unemployment, and on the other side, a lot of people that don't want to work, so I think we need to recreate a new system. And I'm not the right guy for this, but I think some smart people are already having some ideas, but to change the whole world around is something we're not going to see again. It takes too long, I guess, but there have to be some new ideas also for the environment, of course, where the planet is fucking melting apart. It's going to cause serious problems in America. Your tornadoes are getting worse and worse. The weather is fucked up. Here in Germany now, it's like spring, the weather. We have no snow since years. The snow is not coming anymore. And we have like spring weather in fucking December. It's unreal. This is why the tornado is coming also at the moment. So yeah, we have to do something about it. And let's wait and hope for that some people will have better ideas than the actual politicians right now, because I just see a lot of selfish bastards that are not prepared, and that's what COVID-19 shows, that once you need the government, they're helpless basically, because they're not educated people. If our governments would be scientists and smart people, then COVID-19 wouldn't have been such a big problem, because there would have been the right decisions from scratch. But here we saw a lot of helpless overpaid politicians not knowing what to do. And that's of course a problem that we had worldwide. And it's why I would put my government up with like the smartest people, the wisest people of the country, and not with politicians.
Yeah. Sounds good. Although you have my vote, Schmier. But anyway, so Rich,
the party of metal, of course,
That's true, right? That can save the world.
Instead of the church, we have the metal show every week. Everybody has to attend.
Yes, yes, yeah. So we probably have time for one more. So Rich, why don't you get one more question in, and then we'll wrap up.
So tell everybody about the live show you're going to do and why everybody should tune in, and anything special that you're going to do. Is the butcher going to come out? Anything like that?
Yeah. The butcher had no time. He had to butcher the winter, the Christmas food. But
okay.
We actually had a strict limitation of people we can bring into the venue also. So we're actually asking for some guests, where I can maybe bring in some ex-members and stuff on stage. But it wasn't so easy, because they said, okay, listen, for this production, you can have a maximum of staff 25 people, boom, over. Otherwise, the Swiss government wouldn't have allowed the streaming show. So they have very strict rules. But
you said you're going to do like some special songs or something, or you're going to have like maybe some pyro or something?
Exactly. We have a big stage set up with big light rig, some special effects, also smoke machines like the vertical smokers, and it's a really nice stage setup also, and we have a set list that is like almost 2 hours, so it's
nice. That's great.
played, or one of the longest shows we ever played. And we brought some songs back that we didn't play for 20, 30 years. Also some songs that people were demanding, play them again, but we couldn't play them because we only had one guitar. So some of those songs are really out there live now for the first time in 30 years or so. That's going to be interesting. And yeah, basically the setlist is the best of Destruction's 38 years. And a lot of classics, and of course also some new songs, some of the great new tunes from the last album and from the last decade, basically. But I think the mix is actually great, and yeah, it's a big challenge to play so many songs. You know, thrash metal is physical also from my voice, but we've been actually training good, and we had a lot of good tours. And the band, as I said before, this is maybe the best Destruction lineup we ever had. The band is tight and it sounds great, and even if we're all in our 50s, we're still fit, you know. And that's why also this live stream is a nice catch moment of the band's history. That's why people should tune in, and of course to support Destruction, support music. The live stream is a way for us to reach the fans, but also to survive in this pandemic where we cannot play any shows. We basically cannot earn any money at the moment, and the live stream is the only way to earn some dollars, you know. And we don't even know yet if we're going to make some money on this, because the production costs, of course, are pretty high also. So we're really hoping for the fans to understand that this is a mandatory event for us to survive. If we just fucks up, who knows? We're not going to survive next year. We might be over for us. Then if I go take a normal job, cut my hair, it's done, you know. Then you won't come back, you know. It's
like the fans kind of have to support what's available at the moment to support the bands, just in case.
I understand the hate towards streaming shows, you know, because it's not the same. But that's why we try to put a lot of effort. I can guarantee you the sound going to be killer. And we have, I think, 9 or 10 cameras. It's like, it's well done, you know. It's cool. It's basically like watching a DVD almost from the quality.
Right.
And we want to give some value for money, and hopefully the fans going to tune in. We don't know yet. We all know that you know, we had some sales already. They were slow so far, but also our streaming company says the last 72 hours we sell 50% of the tickets on the streaming event. So hopefully a lot of fans going to tune in, buy tickets the next days. And
we'll share this video around so people get the word out, so people know.
A lot of people are saying, "Hey, see you next year in Canada or wherever," but we don't know if there's going to be next year in Canada. If we don't survive the next 6 months, then it's over, basically. When all our crew and all the band members have to get jobs, and you know, then we can come back into business so easily as we do this now. You know, I've been focusing my whole life on music, and I gave up my restaurant business for the music. I sold everything for the music, and it's not so easy to come back from this, you know. So this is a make it or break it for us this year. That's why we did the live album, and that's why we're doing the stream, to survive the pandemic somehow, you know, because it won't be easy for everybody, and for our business. Is there a future for our business? We don't know yet. In 6 months we know more.
All right.
So it's important for everybody to support their favorite bands, guys, in any way, shape, form, fashion, whatever they can do.
Exactly. I think we have received a lot of great support in the pandemic. A lot of great reactions on the websites and the socials. People also asking for a lot of merch. We have reproduced a lot of merch and reissued a lot of merch and sold it to companies in America and Japan and all over the world, you know, to get the demand out there. But it's still, you know, we have lost, in the end, we have lost like 180 concerts this year. So that's
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, here's the future of Destruction. You know, you guys need.
You know, that's always stay positive. That's
cheers.
It's my life routine. I always try to see things most positive way, because when you get depressed, and you know, then there's no future. You make your future now. You create your future. That's my way, and I always been trying to go that way, and it always worked. So you know, the pandemic won't fuck us up. Hopefully, together with the fans, you can write this fucking ruthless destruction machine. Another, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Well, we hope to, we hope everything works out for you, and we hope to see you, in America sometime soon. Hopefully, everybody.
Yeah, our American tour
comes out. Sorry.
Twice. So we're right now have a new date for, I think, September 2021 is our American tour supposed to happen. We will see how it goes with all the progress with the vaccination and everything. So
right.
But, yeah.
Well, good luck. Good luck with everything. We hope it all works out.
Yeah, second part of 2021, we're all hoping for shows. So hopefully, the American tour will be one of the first tours we can do next year.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Absolutely. All right. Well, again, Schmier, it's been an honor. Like I said, Rich and I have been fans for decades. Congratulations on a great career. Yeah.
Thank you guys for the support, and stay safe.
You too.
Yeah. Hey, too. Thank you out there for watching.
We'll be checking out that live concert too, the live stream.
Okay. See you on the 1st.
Thanks, everybody.